losing the fear of death is the great liberator of life. And the single most important thing that you can do for spiritual growth is to lose the fear of dying. Hi, this is Adam, maybe sounding a little bit morbid, of AdamBetweenTheWorlds.com. And my job is to help you with your awakening and to share with you the wonderful gifts of spirit. Death is the great awakener, and losing the fear of death is the great awakener in life. So when you lose the fear of dying, you lose the fear of living. This is really important. Just comment down below. When I lose the fear of dying, I lose the fear of living. When I lose the fear of dying, I lose the fear of living. And comment it or write it in your journals. Maybe make it a daily practice. When you do lose the fear of dying, all of a sudden you can embrace life. You can embrace its challenges. You don't have to fear endings or change because you've already faced and embraced the ultimate change in your life. The truth is that we never die. We are spirit having human experience. When the human body is finished, our spirit goes back to the spirit world, or heaven if you'd like to call it that. So death is really an illusion. There's only life. And when we're having our physical experiences, we're spirits in bodies having a physical experience. Everything that we experience gets filtered through our physicality. So energy starts to get filtered through our nervous systems and our five senses and our human experiences. And we tend to forget that we're much more than our bodies, that we're soul, we're spirit. The embracing of dying is going to help you to reclaim your power. The biggest lie that there is that you're going to die. And that's where all of the negative programming begins. By fearing death, fearing a really, really natural process. Once you start to break through that illusion, that you realize that you're not limited by your physical experience, that you're much, much more, and you start to connect with that soul energy. You start to connect more with spirit. And if you do things like mediumship, like I do, then your connections start to get a lot stronger because you're not limiting yourself by the illusion that you're not going to die or that you're somehow separated from spirit. In your law of attraction work, also the same thing. Once you are in the limitation of your physical body and your physical experience, you start to lose the feeling of energy. You start to lose the connection with energy, and you start to lose the understanding that everything is energy and that your thoughts, emotions, feelings, experiences, and beliefs have a powerful resonance that changes the parameters of physical life and changes your reality. So when you lose that fear of dying, you start to realize that you have the ability to create anything you want in your life that is part of a physical experience. And more than that, you start to realize that you've had that ability all along, that you've had that power all along. So death is the door that opens, it's not the door that closes. And death is an illusion, and we only have life and life after life. So copy this one down below also. I am an immortal spirit having a human experience, and I will never die. I am an immortal spirit having a human experience, and I will never die. A couple of important things. One, if you fear dying, you're never going to reach your next spiritual level. So anytime that you have a spiritual evolution or spiritual growth, we call that an initiation. And an initiation process is really about a symbolic death and rebirth that happens. And if you fear dying, you're not going to get to your next spiritual level. It's not going to happen because each spiritual level is like a whole new energy. It's a whole new experience. You don't die. Nobody dies. We just go on and on. Many of the shamanic traditions, they actually teach you to treat your death as an advisor and to actually embrace your death. It's okay to die, but you're not going to really die. As a professional medium, I feel like every time I make a connection with the spirit world, I come that much closer to ultimately losing any shred of fear that I have of the ultimate ending of this experience of my spirit being in this body. And actually, several years ago, I did a shamanic journey. It was a medicine journey. During the height of it, I found myself at my death and at my birth and in the present moment all at the same time. I really was able to connect with my death and also connect to the fact that every problem that I had in my life stemmed from my birth trauma. That's when I healed myself of addiction. I used to have a very troubling addiction problem, but that experience healed me from it. And it's really just the embracing of death that really led to it. What happens when we die? Now, I did a whole video on this with many, many messages from my grandma, and you can find it over here, what happens when we die. So I really encourage you to watch that one. I go over a lot of detail of what it's like in the spirit world and what it's like to be in heaven. Basically, my grandma told me that for me it was like being in a beautiful forest because that's where I'm the happiest on earth, and that every positive experience that we have in life is magnified 100 times. What John Edward, the great medium, says is that when we cross over, we simply continue our spiritual process that we are involved with here in life. And J. Krishnamurti says that the experience and the experiencer are one and the same. Our view of heaven is really what we make of it when we cross over. Yogi Yogananda says that the spiritual world is a mental state, and whatever that we think we create. We do that here also, actually, but there's no density of physical matter in the spirit world, so it happens instantaneously. Now, my brother Michael, who passed in 1998, I had to think about that one, came through to me 3 days later, and that's a whole story in itself of how I got into mediumship. But when he came through, he basically told me I was disappointed. I'm disappointed is what he told me. Now, you have to understand that my brother took his own life and made it look like an accident, and he basically said he was disappointed because it's not that different. And he told me that he couldn't really wait to come back to finish what he didn't allow himself to finish when he was here. In the case of all suicides, there's no different place that they go to. People that take their own lives just bring their lessons with them to the spirit world and have to learn them there. Brian Weiss says that you get to reconnect with your soul family that you may have forgotten about in the living, and then we go on lifetime after lifetime, and when we die, we reconnect with our spirit soul family. So anyway, that gives you a little bit of an idea heading into the Samhain and the Halloween season. Just don't fear dying, and understand that you're not going to die, that nobody dies. When you lose the fear of dying, you lose the fear of living. So a little exercise that you could try is to just, when you're meditating or relaxing, just call on your death. Just ask your death to come and advise you. It's a shamanic practice that I explained earlier. Feel the energy of your death. It's not a negative thing. When you feel it, it's actually very uplifting and very positive. And just ask for messages about how you can best live your life. Because we are here as spirit, having a human experience, and we're here to grow spiritually. We're here to experience. We're here to expand. We're here to create. We're here to laugh. We're here to love. And we're here to embrace everything that life has to offer, including the ultimate ending. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like it so that YouTube shares it with more people. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, well, what are you waiting for? The best is still yet to come.